everyone, and welcome to the Fun of Knit podcast. My name is Linda, and I can be found on Instagram as Nena Knits, as well as on Ravelry under Nena Knits. This is a small little channel on YouTube that focuses on all my adventures and misadventures in knitting. I started a podcast because I fell in love with the podcasts that I was watching. I got so much enjoyment out of them, learned so much, and felt somewhat part of a community, and I felt connected to people. And I thought, heck, there might be a few of you out there who get a kick out of some of my shenanigans with knitting, might like some of my projects, might learn a little bit from my mistakes, because holy cow, do I ever make a lot of mistakes. And today we're going to talk a little bit about those mistakes. But for those of you, if this is your first time viewing, welcome and thank you for checking us out. If you are coming back as a regular viewer, I'm just humbled. Thank you so much. I think a year ago I had 35 subscribers, and now it's over 700, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's just very, very perplexing and humbling. But thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that you take the time, spend some time with me, and you watch, and that you comment, because oh my goodness, some of the comments have been fabulous and very educational for me, and I've also been able to impart some information back to you. So awesome. Today we've got, gosh, I think it's been about 5 weeks since I podcast, and I don't know why it took me so long. I fully intended on doing something around Valentine's Day, and that kind of went out the window. Oh well. But I'm here now. It's March 7th, Sunday, March 7th. I come to you from Surrey, British Columbia, which is just outside of Vancouver, BC. And it is been rainy, stormy, snowy, the whole gamut, but guess what? All the flowers are coming out, the cherry blossoms are starting to bud, and the daffodils are coming out, and it's almost springtime, it's almost springtime. I love this time of year. Honestly, I think summer is my least favorite time of year. Now, very strange for me to say that, seeing as I'm a golfer, but in terms of how you feel about it and how you get energized and the beauty of nature, I think spring, fall, winter, absolutely stunning. Summer's kind of, I don't know, just too hot. Too hot for everything, I think. But needless to say, happy that spring is on its way. And on that note, again, it's March. I'm hoping to get another podcast out before St. Patty's Day, but no guarantees. Obviously, I shouldn't make any kind of commitments because I suck at commitments, obviously, from a time perspective. I do have a Ravelry group that I started under the For Fun of Knit, For Fun of Knit. I apologize, folks. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that going. I'm not good at it. I don't know what I'm doing with my time. Honestly, I really don't know what I'm doing with my time, because I very rarely go in and check on it. And I'm not all that great at putting Ravelry notes up either. And so I'm going to strive to do better. But if you have been on there and you're kind of wondering what the heck's going on, I apologize. Yeah, what can I tell you? I'm just not very good at it. If that interests you and you want me to be better at it, please post a note, because I'm not too sure that that's a real focus for anybody. Instagram seems to be the bigger one for us to communicate with, but I am happy still to communicate through Ravelry. I just have to get a little bit better at it. Agenda for today. First of all, hoping everybody's doing well. I know in the United States, you guys must be just over the moon. You're getting vaccinated, or have access to vaccines in a much speedier fashion than we do here in Canada, unfortunately. We were not behind the 8 ball, I guess, so it's going to take a while for us to get vaccinated. And I'm still honestly on the fence when it comes to getting vaccinated. Not that I don't believe in vaccines, I do. But I don't fully understand why we have so many different types and what the different nuances are, and why one vaccine is only 60% effective. Who gives a vaccine that's only 60% effective? I thought vaccines were supposed to protect you from said thing. But if it's almost a 50-50 chance that it's not going to protect you, I'm still unclear as to the value of that vaccine. Anyway, if you guys have thoughts on it, by all means, please share. But it's a long way off for us. I think in my age group, I'm last, so I won't be vaccinated probably until late summer. And then in Canada, we're extending the second shot to 4 months. So I don't know. Again, I am not in the medical field. I do not understand all the do's and don'ts, but Pfizer is saying do it within a certain time frame, and the Canadian medical system has decided, oh no, we can extend that for 4 months. So I might get my first shot at the late summer. I might not get my second shot until the end of the year or early the following year. So that puts a whole kibosh on travel, which is kind of annoying. And I should add, sorry folks, I will put timestamps below in the notes below in the description box on YouTube. So if you do not want to listen to the chatter, you can skip straight to the knitting, because after all, it is a knitting podcast. But chatter is kind of where I start, and then I get into the nitty gritty. So back to travel. I'm getting a little frustrated because I'm seeing and hearing about all these people traveling, and I don't know if it's all these people, but there are people traveling. They're going to Hawaii, they're going to Florida. I'm not too sure about Europe, because I think Europe does not allow Canadians to go. I could be wrong about that. I know Spain was not accepting anybody from Canada, and that's of course our destination, but I guess, and maybe somebody can answer this question for me. How are they getting travel insurance? It's one thing to get on a plane and go, because you can do that. You can buy a ticket and you can get on a plane and you can go. But how are you getting medical travel insurance? It was my understanding that COVID was not covered until both governments on the US side and wherever in Canada side decide to open up the borders and not have travel restrictions anymore. COVID was not covered under any medical insurance. So that is the big kicker for anybody vacationing in a foreign country. I can't imagine that you would travel without travel insurance, but I could be wrong. But in just my experience, I've always had it, and I can't get it right now. So I do not understand how Canadians are going across the border thinking they have travel insurance, because from the calls that I've made, you can't get it. Anyway, that's the conundrum of the day. So maybe I'll start a new sex segment. I don't want to do social and political commentary. I know I said that, but this is really a conundrum for me, because heck, this is kind of the plan for retirement, and I would like to get traveling and visiting as many people as I can. And heck, the moment we can travel, I'm thinking fiber festivals can open up, and I am just keeping my fingers crossed and so optimistic that Rhinebeck will happen. I've never been to Rhinebeck. My sister and I have these big plans. We were going to go to Rhinebeck in 2019. 2020. We were going to Rhinebeck. And of course, nobody got to go. So I am so hopeful, so hopeful that Rhinebeck opens, at least for you guys. Maybe not for us in Canada, but maybe for a lot of my viewers who are in the States. Fingers crossed for y'all, really. Talking about other things, just chitter chatter. I need to stop spending money. I got all that. Yeah, I'm working through that. And I have been very true, and you'll find out I've been very true to my sort of goals for 2021. But I talked about this last one. I keep getting distracted by Instagram, and I gotta stop looking at it. And I've had some successes in my purchases when I got sort of targeted for marketing on Instagram, and I've had some fails. So my successes on Instagram were definitely the beeswax wraps to cover food. Love that. The other thing that I bought something else that was, I wonder what it was. I can't remember now. I bought something else that was a plastic replacement, and that was successful, but why can't I remember what the heck it was? Oh, isn't that silly? Oh, no, it wasn't that. I bought shopping bags, the grocery, to replace all the plastic bags that you put your vegetables in. I bought the actual mesh bags off Instagram. So that was a success. Another thing that I purchased, because part of my goals for 2021 is kind of define a style for my wardrobe. A little bit more difficult than I'm thinking. But part of that was also a little bit of makeup. I am very much an au naturel. Patrick hates it when I wear makeup. I don't know, do all guys say that? They just prefer you without makeup. Yet if you don't wear makeup, me in particular, if I don't have a little bit on, I kind of look half dead. You know, like my eyes just don't, I just look like I'm very sleepy. So one of the things that got me on Instagram was Ipsy. What is it? Ipsy? Is it called Ipsy? Is it called Ipsy? Oh, no, it's not on that one. Maybe it's on this one. Is it called Ipsy? Oh, isn't that funny how I can't find it now? Oh, yes. Ipsy. IPSY. I don't know what it stands for. Haven't taken the time to look. But it's like a monthly subscription to sample products, and you put in the types of products that you're interested in. It's $15 US a month, and they send you every month a little glamour kit. And this was my first one I got for January. I'm not going to go, if you're interested in me going through these, I will go through these on a separate video, or maybe I'll tack it on to the end. But they come, for me, it's mostly, you know, I've got aging skin, right? So for me, it's mostly about hydration. I don't have any kind of eyeshadow, eyeliner. I only have one lipstick and one lip liner and one blush. And I hate using foundation. I do have some on today, but that's about it. So I thought, oh, well, might as well try and see what comes out of it. And so I got in my January one, a little hydration. I got a lip pencil, a stay all day lip type of lipstick, a little bit of foundation that is, you know, for my skin color, a glimmer eyeshadow, and a eye cream that is supposed to remove the dark circles. So that's what I got in January. In February, and they come in these little pouches. In February, sealed with a kiss. I wish they didn't come in these pouches, honestly, because I will never use them. And so they are just going to go into a bag for charity. Somebody might be able to use them as a traveling makeup case, but I wish they were just kind of wrapped in paper or something like that. This one, I got a cleansing mask, a mud mask. I got another eyeshadow that almost was the same color. So the first one was a copper shimmer, and this is another copper shimmer, just a little lighter. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I got a little bit more of a hydration. Pardon me, this is an eye cream, a Wonder eye cream, and then I got a little bit more of a this one's a skin cleanser, I do believe. Yes, this is a skin cleanser. And so I'm going to try all the products. If you're interested in hearing about them, please let me know. This is a knitting podcast, so I am not a makeup person at all. But I just thought, hey, it's kind of interesting, and it gives me an opportunity to try a few different products. And if I like them, great, then I might consider purchasing them. And if I don't, well, then it was really not a big waste of money. So I thought I would try that. I don't know how many months I'll try it. I'll probably do it 2 or 3 more months and see what comes out of it, to see what I like and see if it works. But that was one of the things that I purchased. And so far, I'm not going to say it's a fail, but it's not a super success either, because not all of the products are really making that much of a difference for me, I'm going to say. But I have to, in fairness, I have to give them a true shot, and I haven't really done that yet. So that's that. Okay, big epic fail of purchasing on Instagram. People, I can't even tell you the company because they don't give you the company name. Okay, that would be clue number 1. You know how you get on Instagram some of those, and this is all because I was looking for, you know, what's my style. They have fashion advertisements where it's a clothing company that sells all sorts of different types of clothing, and then underneath it says learn more. If you like what you see, learn more, and you click and it takes you to their website. I can't find them anymore. Wish I could. Because I was attracted to, and sorry for the crinkling, I was attracted to a sweater that I saw that when you look at the sweaters in the pictures, they look really nicely hand knit and hand woven, and one of the colors that I liked was really a boho style, and it was chartreuse and a whole bunch of different colors, kind of Aztec-y, in a really bright chartreuse green and teal, etc. When I got these, they don't give you a lot. First of all, they sent me the wrong sizes. They sent me an extra large. That's not what I ordered. I ordered a medium, but they sent me an extra large, and I cannot contact this company anymore. And this is all synthetic. I expected it to be machine made, but it's literally made of plastic. It's acrylic, and honest to goodness, it feels horrible. It feels horrible, it looks horrible. The colors are not representative of what you saw on the screen. And what really freaked me out is I was looking at one of the pictures. I was looking at one of the pictures online of a sweater because it had Isabel Kramer. It was her picture. It was her photo shoot picture of her sweater. And I am still thinking whether I should message Isabel Kramer, because whatever clothing company that was, they have obviously pirated her, and I'm now thinking they've pirated a lot of photos from other designers, and they had pirated her. I do not know what sweater this is called, but the Knitting Posse had just, Kim and Kate had both just knit a sweater that was in forest green with the cable down the middle and cable down the sleeves, and I can't remember the pattern. I apologize. I'll try and pop it up here when I see it. But I did not order this sweater. This is what I find so strange. I hovered on it for a long time because I was curious. I kept looking at it going, does Isabel Kramer support this site? Okay, well, that's kind of nice. Didn't realize it. And this looks like her sweater. Well, yeah, it's a freaking knockoff. I did not order this. I did not order this. And it came. And I'm like, oh, first of all, and I checked my Visa, I haven't paid for it either. This is what I don't understand. I didn't pay for it. I didn't order it. I was just hovering for a very long time on that photo because it kind of shocked me. And I bought my one sweater, and I did check my thing. I bought my one sweater, and when I got it in the wrong size, it's a horrible quality. And they sent me this faux Isabel Kramer, which is also a horrible quality. These are both going to donation because they're just horrible. I would not recommend it. And it does not say at any point, there's nowhere on this bag, nowhere on the receipts, nowhere on my receipts, does it tell me what company it is. So I can't even go back to figure out or to complain or do anything. So just note to self, I'm sorry, I'm almost 20 minutes in, but I just wanted to highlight that be careful about Instagram if you are shopping online. Not everything is what it seems, and there's a reason for it. Anyway, so that was kind of my purchases as I was looking for things that might go into my closet, and those would not be them. So, okay, so let's get on to knitting. We're almost 20 minutes in. Let's get into knitting. Oh my goodness, so much to tell you about. So first of all, I'm gonna leave this for a little bit because what I am wearing is my Turtle Dove 2. So I'm sure you've noticed that, but I will get into it because there's lots to say about this sweater. Finished objects. I left you just before Valentine's Day last time, and I was making hearts. Well, I made a whole bunch of hearts. There you go. I just wanted to show you that I made all these beautiful hearts. And I did put them in a garland, and then I didn't like the garland. I just like placing them everywhere. It's almost like Easter eggs, but they're hearts. And so I just love all scraps, all pinks. Just thought I would show you. That to me is a finished object, but it's probably going to be a growing pile of hearts. But that was one thing. My next finished object is I have joined, and I always join, I'm eating my hair, sorry, Helen Stewart's The Curious Handmade Sock Society. And this is the 4th season. And I have finished my curling mist socks. Look at these beauties. Hopefully you can see that. the Curling Mist socks. Beautiful. I love them. And this yarn is from Camp Fiber Yarns in their, I think it's their Vibrant 80/20 colorway. Is it called Vibrant? It is called their, yeah, her Vibrant 80/20 sock yarn, and in the home colorway. So what can I tell you about these socks? So the pattern's been released, which is awesome. And part of the society, you get the pattern early, which is kind of nice before it's released. So you get to knit the ones that you like. They've just released the second pattern to the society. Not thrilled with the pattern, so I'm not going to knit the second one. But you never know what comes out. I think you get 6 patterns a year. So it's a really good buy. And Helen Stewart is just an amazing designer. Okay, the wonderful thing about these socks is look at how squishy that looks. That is the Curling Mist. It's a very easy pattern. It's a 1x1 rib. It's a paid for pattern, so I'm not going to go through too much detail, but it is a very easy repeat to do. And then she has this wonderful heel that continues in the ribbing. And so that's the heel flap, and then you do the heel turn, and then you do the gusset, which in fairness, I've only ever done once before, and not this way. So I'm thinking 2 years ago, I might have done, most of the time I just do afterthought heels, just because, I don't know, I learned them and I could do them easily. But what I will say is I learned a lot doing this. I made some mistakes on these socks. A couple things. When you're making cables, apparently that reduces, for me anyway, how much stretch I have in my socks. So they're a little on the tight side. And I loved the pattern itself and how squishy the pattern was when it wasn't stretched over my foot. But when it stretches over your leg, the pattern kind of disappears. And I think that's more because of the yarn that I chose. I should have, maybe I'm thinking that if I'm doing patterns like this, I have to choose more of a tonal yarn and less of a variegated type of yarn, because the pattern just kind of disappears a bit. So if I wanted to do this pattern again, and I will make this pattern again at some point, because I really did enjoy the knit. It just flowed, and I felt successful after every repeat. So I got that little sort of brain kick every time. I would cast on more stitches. So maybe do two or 3 more repeats so that it would still stay squishy like that on my leg and not so spread out. The second thing I might do differently is use a tonal versus a variegated. I made a mistake on the heel. I don't know what I was thinking. This should be a seamless rib. Like, you shouldn't have a line here. I don't know if you can see that, but I've got a line here because I started purling in the wrong spot. So I was purling and knitting when I should have been knitting and purling. So my line, my ribbing's off. It doesn't go all the way down the heel the way the pattern does. Do I have the pattern with me? Do I have it on me? I will put a picture here or there so you'll be able to see it. The other mistake I made is, so these are my misadventures. This is why I love sharing, because these are my misadventures. The other mistake I made is, I don't know if you can see this. I'm trying to figure, can you see this sort of rib here? This is the line, this is the edge of the heel flap where you are picking up the stitches to continue on the gusset. I picked up the inside of the stitch. I should have picked up I picked up the outer side of the stitch. I should have picked up the inner side of the stitch. If I picked up the inner side of the stitch, I wouldn't have that bump, that one single, looks like everything here is a 2x2 rib, and here I've got this one single rib thing, and it just looks odd and it sticks out because it's not even a rib, it's like a seam. And I've got it on the other side too. And because I did them 2 at a time on Magic Loop, I made the same mistake on all my socks. So that is something else I would have to fix for the next time. But I absolutely love this pattern. It's called the Curling Mist pattern by Helen Stewart or Curious Handmade. It's part of the Handmade Secret Sock Society. An absolutely lovely, lovely pair of socks. So very happy about that. Adding to my sock collection. Can't have too many socks. So those are two finished objects. Now let's talk about this one. This is my turtle dove sweater. And I'm going to call this the most beautiful, beautiful, epic fail. Okay, so here we go. Yes, I'm wearing it, but it's an epic fail, and I'll tell you why. This is a pattern by Espace Tricot, and I have to say that as I look for what my tastes are in terms of clothing and what style I like, I have to say I love everything Melissa does in terms of how she wears her sweaters, how she has them over jeans and skirts with boots, and totally my aesthetic. So this sweater is a free pattern. It is supposed to be sweatshirty feeling, but can be elegant as well as super casual. So certainly it's been in my queue for a long time. Pardon me, not my queue. It's been in my library. It was a free pattern, so I didn't have to purchase it, but it's been in my library. So that was one thing. And I had the yarn. What I will say is I had 6 skeins of yarn and I ended up running out. And so thank you, June, for saving me. And one of my viewers, June, who lives very close to me, as it turns out, ended up having 2 skeins. And so we were able to negotiate getting me the 2 skeins. So I was able to finish the sweater. Love June. But that said, this sweater, very simple construction. It's knit top down. It's a raglan style. You have a choice of body length, and whether or not you want to, you can customize the body length. Excuse me. You can also decide on whether you want just a straight hem or if you want a split hem. What I loved about it, very customizable sweater. I've talked about that before. I was intending to make it a much more close-fitting sweater, but the yarn bloomed out a lot more than I thought it did when I blocked, and I did not block it aggressively, but it grew in length substantially and it grew in width. So it turned out to be very much a raglan type of sweater, which is okay, but I like to wear vests, so I was trying to avoid, here's me, this is where I am, but I've got like, I don't know, 5 inches, 4 or 5 inches on both sides. And as I've talked before, what the problem for me is that when you wear a vest, what happens with a raglan sweater is your vest pulls the material close to your body and then your sleeve ends up being too short. So what I did to compensate for that, I was worried about that, so I made extra long sleeves so I don't have to worry about that. So hey, I'm getting smarter in my old age. But needless to say, very customizable, very easy raglan increases, knit straight down for the body. It's an easy knit. It's on size 6mm needles, I do believe. I did not use, no, pardon me, it's 4.5mm needles for the ribbing, and it is 5.5mm for the body. I only used 5mm needles because I don't have 5.5. So I ended up knitting a size 3. I went up a size to a size 3, so 72-inch cast on, and then did all the increases. I only did the increases. I didn't do all the increases for a size 3. I think I stopped short 2 or 3 rounds because I could tell that it was going to get a little bit too raglan-y, too wide for me. What else can I say? I knitted in the Drops Air. This is Drops Air, and it is, I do believe, 70% alpaca, 25% polyamide, which is nylon, and 5% wool. And it's got a great price point. I think it's only $10 a skein. So makes a sweater much more attainable for a lot of people, which is kind of what I'm trying to do too. I'm trying to make sure that I knit with a variety of price points in the yarn and different types of yarn, because hopefully, I mean, not all of us, and certainly, you know, can't afford the cashmere silk blends and all the beautiful, you know, yak. Some of those can get quite pricey. So being able to, you know, try patterns that allow for other types of yarn, I think is it's good for me. It works well for me to have that in my wardrobe. Needless to say, so what I ended up doing, and I talked about this in my last podcast, certainly when it was a work in progress, is I was struggling with this section of the neck. In the photos, as I mentioned before, people were getting a pull line. They were getting a pull. So you can see that my turtlenecky, kind of has some, I don't know, some creases, I guess. That's not what I'm talking about. This was an actual bubble pull line that was very evident in quite a few of the photos on Ravelry, and I didn't want to have that. And one of the comments mentioned that they love the sweater except for it pulled front to back. So it pulled, you think it's pulling this way, but they were saying, no, it's pulling front to back. My sister and I yacked about that a little bit and thought about it. And so what we concluded was that raglan, if you look at a raglan sweater, you get the neck and then the sleeves come and then the body comes, and it's very much tapered shape. Well, my sister and I and lots of folks, we are not tapered. We are square shouldered. We are like 90 degrees from the neck out, right? So we have quite a square shoulder set, number one. Number two, we are not narrow people. Like I wish I was a little narrower, but I'm not. So I've got a lot of meat. I'm going to just call it, I got a lot of muscle and meat. Yes, we're going to call it muscle. There you go. And I've got, I've got bones that are not, I'm not fine boned. So I've got a lot of me in terms of depth or width, I guess, between the front and the back of the front of me and the back of me. So I don't know how to say that exactly, but you know what I mean. I'm not super skinny, right? I'm not super skinny. There's light stuff. So I need space in the shoulders. And so what we concluded is that I needed to add more stitches, cast on more stitches for the sleeve than the pattern called for. And so that's what I did. I doubled it actually. Not only that, but I added 4 extra stitches in the front and 4 extra stitches in the back. So the neck is per pattern, but I added a whole bunch more stitches in the actual top of the sweater. That gave me more space. I could have probably done about 5 more stitches. So I think I added on 14. I think I could have added 19 or 20, honestly. And where you adjust then is in the raglan increases. I didn't do as many raglan increases because I had already a significant more amount of stitches in the pattern called for. And then when it came to doing the raglan, I just kept trying it on and making sure, okay, well, I'm comfortable here. And I think when I stopped, the raglans were right here. And that's where I stopped and I split for the sleeves. What I would say about this yarn is it grew much more than I thought it would. I thought the polyamide would keep it quite the size of the sweater that I knit. But no, it grew substantially in length, probably about 4 to 6 inches in length, and about, I'm going to say 4 to 6 inches in width as well, and without tugging and pulling. So it just loosened up. So that was interesting. So what I have now is a beautiful, an absolutely beautiful sweatshirty, soft sweater. But now let me get to why it's an epic fail. Because it's an epic fail. It's a beautiful epic fail. It is an epic fail. I'm going to show you the body. So let me stand up. There you go. That's me. All of me. Yay. See, I did the split hem, which I love. It is an epic, beautiful epic fail for me because of the yarn. The yarn itself. 2 things. One, there's not enough weight in the yarn to hold the drape. Combine that with, on me, and I don't know if this happens to everybody else, so I would be very curious if you want to comment on this, if you've knit with this yarn. It creates static cling. It just gloms onto me. If I move in a certain way, like it'll just stay there because it is glomming onto me. It is. So combined with the fact that it's very light, if it moves up on my hip, it sticks on my hip. But if I wear a jacket, oh no, now I've got fuzz. I've got fuzz in my eye. Oh, sorry about that, folks. Fuzz in my eye. But if I'm wearing a vest and I take my vest off, the static comes, and then the sweater is absolutely stuck to me like glue. All my lumps and bumps show. So, not a sweater I can wear. I can't trust this sweater. This is not a sweater I will go out wearing. I might wear it around the house, but I'm thinking, I'm curious to know, and I'd love if somebody were to comment on whether or not they've had the same experience. Because if it's just me, then I will gift this. I will donate it, not gift it, but I'll donate it. If it is something that you've experienced as well, well, no, then I'll just keep it and I'll wear it as a sort of, I don't know what I'll wear it for, cleaning the house or something. Something where I know I'm not going outside, let's put it that way, or to be seen in public. So really disappointing. Oh my gosh, disappointing. I will make this pattern again. I love this. I do believe I put my notes in Ravelry, so if you want to refer to those, you can. And again, June, thank you so much for saving me and allowing me to finish this. I still have one skein left. I only needed one, but I will find a good use for that. So that is my last finished object, my turtle dove. So, yay! Okay, onward to works in progress. So, I finished socks, yes. And I finished a sweater that was on my needle, so I am following my resolutions. I am finishing what I've started. So I'll talk about my next work in progress on the same theme of finishing what you've started, Linda. Linda, yeah, because you suck at it. Because I just want to cast on everything, as you know. I have picked up my Zweig and started knitting on my Zweig again. This, my sister just finished her Zweig. I'm green with envy, but I'll get there. This is our very first Rhinebeck sweater. So if we get to go to Rhinebeck this year, we're wearing this. This is our first Rhinebeck sweater. So this is my Zweig, and I am absolutely, again, I'm not sure these are my colors, but I love it. I love it. It's a very nice royal blue, royal, not quite navy blue. And that in... I've got all the yarn stuff is on Ravelry. This was a Barcelona Knits yarn. I can't 100% remember what it was. Do I have a tag? No, of course not. Why would I have a tag? But it's from a yarn dyer in Berlin. And my lace work, my contrast color is a little bit of Katya yarn. I think it's Katya. Or is it Kid Silk? I can't remember. Just in a cream, in a fingering weight combined with hedgehog fibers, skinny singles, which is also a merino fingering weight, in the shiver colorway. And hopefully you can see this, but it's got the beautiful pink and turquoise and navy blue and a little bit of black speckles. It's absolutely lovely. And then I've gotten this far on the body, and I am doing the beautiful... I've already made a mistake. I wasn't going to do the detail, the cabling detail, and then I changed my mind. I thought, no, I better do that. But I was too lazy to go back. So I started at 2 inches down. But this is my I think you can see that. See the cabling detail. And I'm probably halfway through the body length, and I thought, oh, here we go again. I might not have enough yarn. So I moved to the sleeves. So I am now doing the sleeves first, and I am doing the sleeves 2 at a time. I have to put them back on the magic loop needle, but I'm doing both sleeves. You can see they're both the same, and I'm doing them 2 at a time on my Chow-Goo needles. I think this is a 50-inch cord. I can't remember. But I wanted to try it on, so I switched everything, all the cables around. Now I have to switch them back because I like to do my sleeves 2 at a time on magic loop. So I know I have the right tension. I know all my decreases are the same. And I've been kind of managing it that way. A lot of folks get really frustrated with having to push the needles around and the cord through. I find that part of the therapeutic process, which, so I know I'm advancing because every time I'm switching it around, I'm making progress. So it's just yet another progress keeper for me. I do have my little mushroom progress keeper there, which is from Firefly Notes. but I'm loving this. This is going to be gorgeous. It's going to fit beautifully. I'm curious to see how it blocks out. Hope it doesn't grow too much, because the pattern is made for fingering weight and I'm doing a DK weight. I'm using the same size needle, so technically it shouldn't make too much of a difference, but it will make a slight difference. So there you go. That is my Zweig. So I am making progress, and my goal is to finish this by the end of March. Yes, that's my goal, to finish it by the end of March. So we'll just have to wait and see. And it is not in any special project bag. It is just in a, I don't know what that is. I don't even know where I got it. It was a luggage. That was part of my luggage, I think, at one point. See what I mean? This sweater, it's sticking to me. This, if you sing folds, it's because it's sticking to me. Don't get me started. So I cannot wear this outside. My next work in progress, and I did put this on Instagram, and this is, you know, this is part of why my Zweig isn't finished, is as far along as it should be, is because I just got all excited about the 1 week sock challenge. I'm making a pair of socks in 1 week. And I thought, what great motivation to get some St. Patty's Day socks knit. And so these are my I'm striping them with some of the minis that I got over Christmas that were green. So these are all the different greens, and I'm just randomly striping them. And thank you to Earth Tone Girls, Denise from Earth Tone Girls. If you have not looked at her sock tutorials, please do so. Wow, eye opener. I now am going to switch colors and stripe to my heart's content, because I don't have to weave in any ends. And I'm not going to say anything more about that. Check out her sock tutorials, and she'll teach you how to weave in as you go, so when you come to the end of your sock, you don't have to do all this weaving. Awesome. Best tip ever. So this, I am following the Curling Mist pattern for doing the heel flap, the heel turn, and the gusset. And I'm making improvements. I'm learning from my mistakes, which is kind of nice. So on this particular pair of socks, you're not going to be able to see it, but there isn't that ridge sticking out. There's still a line, but I picked up the stitches on the inside, like that ones were facing the actual gusset. I picked up the inside stitches, not the outside ones. So I don't have that ridge. Couple things. I was watching the Naughty Knitwits, Michelle and Leslie, and Michelle, just in casual conversation, she said, oh yeah, I'm knitting a pair of socks, and Leslie says, oh, okay, well, what pattern are you doing? She says, oh, I'm not doing a pattern. I'm just, you know, knitting 2, slipping 1, and just going around. And she goes, it makes a nice, interesting pattern. Well, it does. I thought, oh, I'll try that, because I've got, you know, I didn't want to just do knitting around. So I did that. I knit 2, slip 1, knit 2, and it creates all these this beautiful, you know, ribbing effect. Yay! Sort of. What I didn't realize, nobody tells you these things unless you learn by doing, is that while my beautiful 1x1 cuff has lots of stretch, this does not. This does not. Can you see how tough that is? I can barely get these over my heel. I can only conclude that by slipping a stitch, you're tightening the whole sock, because the yarn that's going behind the stitch, and so you knit one, you slip, and then you're knitting the next 2. It's almost like that slip stitch doesn't exist. It's sitting on top of your knitted stitches, because you've slipped, you know, you've slipped that stitch, pulled it forward, then you've gone on to knit 2 more, and you're pulling the yarn, and so it doesn't have as much stretch. I did not know that. So when I make these socks again, because I will, because you know I have a lot of minis, I'm going to make another pair of lovely socks. I don't know what theme, but I'm going to cast on 72 inches. I'm a 64. That's my vanilla sock recipe. So I think I would be okay to cast on 64, then do an increase round to get me to 72, then knit. Or I could also maybe just use a bigger needle size. I'm knitting with my Chaigu 2.25s, interchangeables. Maybe if I knit with 2.75 or 2.5 at least. Maybe a combination of both, not too sure. So I got all the way to the heels. I've turned for the heels now, and I'm now done doing the gusset, and I'm decreasing for the gusset, but I've added, like, I'm not decreasing all of the stitches. I want to have a little bit more room in my foot. These are quite tight on my calves, so on my ankles and calves. So I'm just a little wary. It probably won't be as bad because the bottom of the foot is all flat, just stockinette, and the ribbing is only on the top, so I might be okay. But anyway, these are them. They are beautiful, but they will be done for St. Patty's Day. Very exciting, and I absolutely love them. I love them, and I'm just, you know, these are my minis. And so I just have them all. I just have them all because I like doing everything 2 at a time magic loop. So I just put them, have them all. I've got a weight scale, and I weighed my skein and just started winding until half of the weight was gone, cut it, and then wound the other half. It's not an exact science, but it works. So that is work in progress. The next work in progress was a new cast on because I finished this. So I am finishing what I start in terms of my Zweig. I finished this, so that was good. And now I started on another project for St. Patty's Day. So I want to have this finished by St. Patty's Day. And this, Patrick's Irish, by the way. So it's kind of a fun time for us. I am doing the love note. Yay! I am doing the love note. I am making size 4, adult size. And funny thing about this is it helps if you read the pattern, number 1. It helps if you read the pattern correctly. I read the pattern. I realized from, you know, the chart that I needed size 4 adult, but I missed the part where it said children's sizes will be in plain font, women's adult will be in bold font. I did the entire, this whole section, this is all the lace work, in a child size 4. And I couldn't figure out why it was this big. I could not figure out why it was this big. So I had to undo the whole thing. Do you know how hard it is to undo mohair? You probably do. I've only done it once. No, I've done it twice now. My whole whip unraveling for my Hayward. I hate it. I hate it. But I did it. And it was well worth it. And so now I'm knitting the size 4. The yarn is La Bien-Aimée. It is La Bien-Aimée merino singles in their Shire colorway along with their Kid Silk mohair in the Shire colorway. And I bought this yarn when it first came out, when they first decided to have, I think they were having a knit along or whatever, but they just came out with the Shire colorway. And I thought, oh, I know, I do like green. It's not my favorite color, but I do like it. And I have to say, I like certain greens, and I don't know if this shows you. This is a very tonal green. It's got lots of brightness to it. So it's not a dull forest green. It is a jewelly green. It is really lovely, and there's a lot of depth to that green. So where I am, I have finished. So what's fun about this, and it's paid for pattern, and it's called the Love Note by Tin Can Knits, which is 2 Canadian designers. And you all know of them. This sweater has been made, I think 5,000 people have made this sweater. So, or 5,000, probably more, just the ones on Ravelry. But I wanted a sweater that, one, I could stick to my resolution commitments. I could finish what I start, so quick knit, big needles, which is nice. I think these are 6mm. Yes, 6mm needle. It was a pattern I purchased when it came out, so it was already in my library, and it was knitting from stash. So I've had this for, I think, since 2018 when it came out. Early 2019, Might have been early 2019 when I bought this, whenever this colorway from La Bien-Aimée came out. So loving, loving, loving it. I am now at the point where I have to start my raglan increases, and then, which is only 8 rows for this pattern size. And then I separate for the sleeves, and then it's just stockinette away. And I'm undecided yet if I'm going to just do the straight around hem or the high-low hem. Yeah, I can't quite figure out what fits my body type better or what look I like better. So that's a mystery. So I will update you on that the next time. But this is, oh, this is lovely. And I think it's going to look nice on me. I don't know. I think so. So needless to say, that one I would like to have done by St. Patrick's Day. And if I get it finished, I will either post it on Instagram or I'll do another quick video. So we'll have to see how that pans out. Okay, so now how about some acquisitions? Yes. I really need to stop buying yarn. Excuse me. I don't know if that's even possible. I don't know if that's possible. Now that I have discovered some of the local Canadian dyers, and I love them all, now I'm starting to get some favorites. I have my favorite American dyers, which I will continue to buy from. But I just, oh, it's making it very hard for me. Sorry, this sweater, point number 3 about this sweater, it fluffs. If you're wearing black, you will be covered in fluff. Third strike against this yarn. But let's see. Let me first talk about Carla Fawcett. Carla Fawcett is, hi Carla, if you're watching. Don't blush. An amazing lady who had a beautiful yarn shop in Kamloops, British Columbia that I never had the privilege to go to. Unfortunately, due to COVID, when I discovered her, we weren't allowed to travel. And she's now retired and she closed her shop, Carla. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. But in so doing, she put a lot of yarn on sale. So I was able to purchase a few items and also discover a new dyer, Canadian dyer. And the dyer here, the dye company is called, and I don't know enough about them, I apologize. So I might have to come back to them with more detail, or I'll post it in my notes below. But it's called Chester Knits. And I do believe they're out of Kamloops, if not Kamloops, very darn close to Kamloops. Pardon me, Williams Lake, BC. I just saw it on the back of the tag. Williams Lake, which isn't too far away. So, but this is Chester Knits, and I saw these. Carla sent me a few pictures of the yarn that she had still hanging on her wall. And actually it came, these are the 3 that were hanging side by side. So Carla, you know your colors well, and damn it, girl, you got me. Look at these 3 beauties that were hanging on her wall side by side. How can you not just jump at that? This is like a peony, oh, it's called peony, there you go, a very light pink. This is sort of rose and rose golds and coppers and a little bit of that light pink, and then this is just that beautiful tonal copper. And these ones are, what are these ones? These ones are 100% superwash merino, and this one, the peony, is slightly different. This is more of a sock. It's 80-20 merino nylon. They feel very similar, very squishy, so I am going to use those 3 together. And I did buy 2 of each because I felt a color work sweater in this. And so I don't know about that for me, but it was lovely. I just absolutely love that. So I do want to check out Chester Knits a little bit more in detail and find out if they have a website. They do, chesterknits.com. chesterknits.com. So they have a website. And then Carla was so generous. So not only, I bought these, and then Carla sent some goodies along with my purchase. And so these are going to be giveaways. Maybe not all today, but certainly giveaways. So one is this beautiful project bag, a nice canvas or linen project bag from Pine and Pearl, which is handmade home decor. Don't you love it? Just one more row. We all know this logo. I love that, but it even comes with the tag on it still. So I'm going to use that as a giveaway prize. She also sent me another Canadian dyer, and this is called Altered Skeins. And this is called Foxtrot. The base is Foxtrot, which is 80% merino, 20% nylon, and it's fingering weight, and the color is Merlot. And so this again I don't know where they're from, but it's hand dyed. They're Canadian, so it must be pretty local. Altered Skeins, that is going to go into the pot for gifts. So thank you, Carla. That was lovely. She also gifted this pattern, which is called the Murdoch Socks. The Knox Mountain Kit. Here, I'm getting this all wrong. The McCullough socks. There you go. Look at this sock pattern. It's beautiful. So that's going to go in to the gifts because I love that. And hey, they're green. Had I thought about it, I could have made those for St. Patty's Day. And there was something else. Yes, there was. There were these gems. So these are jewel designs, and these are actually made in the States. And these are actually buttons and fasteners. So this is a button, a leather button. Let me open this up. So this is jewel designs. And these are leather accessories for your knitwear, or if you're making accessories like a handbag. This is actually a leather button. And this is so fascinating. It just screws on and off. You screw off the top and it comes apart. You put one in the back and one in the front, and this becomes the button. So this is beautiful. So this is going to be a gift. Again, jewel designs. This is a screw-in leather pedestal button, it's called, in a medium chocolate. So thank you. And this may or may not become a gift. I am not sure about this yet. I might gift it, but I might be very selfish and I might keep this for myself. I am undecided. But again, from Jewel Designs, this is a Cordoba latch closure. And this, I just find this fascinating. This is a leather latch closing, and you just squeeze it and unlatch it. So whether it goes that way where you squeeze it and it comes apart, and of course again the same type of hinges, you just screw them apart, put your fabric in between, screw them back up, and this is leather. This is just stunning. Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. And so I think I will gift that. This will be part of a gift at some point. So we'll have to think of a good challenge for that one, because this is a very unique, special gift. Thank you, Carla. I can't thank you enough. That was very, very generous of you. And I love all of it. I wish I could keep it all, but I can't. It's all good. So folks, we're well into it now, and I've got a lot more to show you. So if you need to take a break and come back with another drink, by all means do so. But oh my goodness, do I have some yarn acquisitions. I've got books and yarn. So from a yarn perspective, where shall I go next? Well, we were talking about my curling mist socks, which were camp fiber yarns. And so I could not help myself but buying this one, which is called Poseidon. And funny enough, Home and Poseidon would have made a great fade, because the Home is just more turquoise and this is the same colorways, but just more of the navies and the darker greens. Just beautiful. So I picked up that. I also picked up a mini of her Black Cherry. Again, all in the vibrant 80/20. And the reason I picked up the Black Cherry is because I already had this one, which is called In the Eye of the Storm. And there is the black cherry in the eye of the storm, and I wanted to do contrasting heels and toes. So looking forward to a fall sock for that one. The other Canadian dyer that of course I fell in love with over Christmas was the Cozy Knitter. All of her self-striping, you know, I did the Advent, the Cozy Knitter Advent. I so want to do that again, so please look out for that. I think she starts advertising it in October. I definitely want to do another Advent sock, but I bought 3 different colorways of her self-striping sock sets, all sparkling. Very festive. I have to put my glasses on here because I cannot read what they are. But this one is called Joyful. That's called Joyful. I love it. Very happy. This one is called Winter Wonderland. These are her shimmer base. Winter Wonderland, which is just, I think you can see the Stellina sparkling there. And this one is called Huga, which is to me very New Year's-y. It's golds and grays and blush pinks, so they're very champagne-y, and this to me is a New Year's sock. I cannot wait to knit that. So those are my Cozy Knitter acquisitions. Then I also belong to a sock club, which is the Rose and Pearl Sock Club, and March yarn came, and this is called West Coast Trail Sock. That's the base. The color is called Victoria in Bloom. So Victoria City on Vancouver Island, Victoria in Bloom. And it's from the West Coast Yarn Co., which is on the island. So absolutely lovely. I'm enjoying the sock club. Rose and Pearl, if you've never heard of her, Rose and Pearl, Stacy is the proprietor, and she has an online shop. She doesn't dye yarn, but she has an online shop, and I love that. Okay, everybody knows this lovely lady, Shirley Bryan Yarns. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I have been trying and trying for months to get some of her deconstructed fade sock yarn. Look at this. Look at this. OMG. I love these colors. One of you commented that I'd look really good in jewel tones. I need to make this into a garment. I do not know how, but that is all jewel tones. Oh my God, rubies, sapphires. Oh, that is just beautiful. So this is her deconstructed fade, and this was called I love the name of this. This is hilarious. You're so vain, you probably think this yarn is for you. It's for me. And then I bought another one, which is called Ready Player One, or Ready Player, from the movie Ready Player One. But again, a deconstructed fade, really bright and happy. Look at that. That is just lovely. Are you getting bored of all my yarn acquisitions? Keep in mind, this is all most of January and February. And then I gotta slow down because I've got all of this yarn still to knit. So, Rose Hill Yarns is another local from Alberta. I call anything Canadian local. Rose Hill Yarns. And I purchased, again, because I am on a mission to knit Christmas socks, I purchased this beautiful one, which is called Holiday Peppermint Sock Set. And this is her fingering weight. I do not know what the base is called, but it is 75% merino, 25% nylon, and this is Holiday Peppermint. I just love that. I loved it so much that I bought one very similar to that, which is called My Sugar Boo. My Sugar Boo. And this is going to be a gift. Notice I'm collecting quite a gift stash, right? So a prize. This is going to be a prize. There you go. Last acquisition of yarn, and it's because it's a monthly sock club. And this is the Over the Moon, you know I love Caitlin and I'm Serena. Over the Moon Star Trek. Live long and prosper, people. Star Trek sock club. And this is called Earl Grey Hot. Or is it called? Yeah, it's in their electron fingering. And this is the squishiest sock yarn. It is just the squishiest sock yarn. It is beautiful. It is 85% merino, 15% nylon. And you can tell that is lovely. And it's called Earl Grey Hot in their electron base. So absolutely loving that. And what they send you, this is so cute. They send you a little gift with your monthly subscription. You have to sign up for each month. It's not like you sign up all at once. At least I didn't see that option. But they always send you a little sugar, because you got to have a little sugar. I like the sugar. And then a phrase, engage, of course. That's from Luc Picard from Voyager. Was it Voyager? No, that was the Enterprise. Voyager is Janeway, I think. I can't remember who's who. But also this cute little coffee cup with the Star Trek logo, uniform logo on it. I don't know if you can see that properly. So cute. Progress Keeper. And of course, in theme with the yarn, Earl Grey tea. So this is absolutely, I'm enjoying this sock club immensely for so many reasons. Because, hey, I am such a Star Trek girl. That would be, you know, I like Star Wars too, but Star Trek all the way. Captain Kirk, Spock, McCoy, you name it, I'm Star Trek all the way. I'm loyal to Star Trek. I'll watch Star Wars just because they're good, but I love Star Trek. And that was all my yarny acquisitions for today. I'd like to gift some of it away. And thanks to Carla Fawcett from Knit 2 Yarns. Happy retirement, Carla. I'm going to give away the Altered Skeins. Altered Skeins, it's the Foxtrot in the Merlot colorway, fingering weight sock yarn. And we are going to give away the Rose Hill Yarns My Sugar Boo colorway sock set. Those are the 2 prizes. And so what should we do? I would like, because I'm always talking about Canadian dyers, so I would like to hear from you who is one of, and I'm saying one of your favorite dyers, because it's very hard to have a favorite dyer, but who is one of your favorite dyers, Canadian, American, you know, international, wherever it is? Why are they your favorite dyer? And what yarn, what project have you knit? What project have you knit with their yarn? So specific. So be specific about the project that you knit with their yarn. So who is the dyer? Why is it one of your favorites? And what specifically did you knit with their yarn? So we want a pattern name. That would probably be helpful. Makes it more interesting too, because then we can sort of browse patterns and see what's out there. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Hopefully I will see you again in a couple weeks. Actually, I'm going to try and do it for St. Paddy's Day, but if not, it'll be sometime in March, early April. If you want to subscribe, please do so. If you haven't already, that allows you to get notified. You have to hit the little alarm bell to get notified of any additional episodes. Other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend a little bit of it with me. And I so enjoy this time. I so enjoy sharing the information on knitting and all the fun and the trials and tribulations. So comments are most welcome. And on that note, I will say Auf Wiedersehen. Until the next time, take care. Bye for now. 1 or 2 last items I am going to share with you is I bought Carla Park's Book of Socks. This is a beautiful book. I also last year bought 52 weeks of socks. And I have to say, it's a beautiful book. Oh my goodness. The photography in that book is absolutely amazing. The patterns themselves are extremely accomplished patterns. They're just not to my taste. So one of the things I'm probably going to be giving away is my book on 52 weeks of socks. So if anybody is looking for that book and haven't been able to get it, stay tuned, because that's going to be a giveaway at some point. But the patterns in this, I can make almost every pattern in here. And again, it's just because I like to keep things simple. The 52 week of sock book is beautiful, and it's very much like a Vogue knitting type of sock book, which to me is a little bit too complicated. This is much more my speed. This one's got some really fancy patterns in it too, but at the same time, there's more in here that I can actually knit, and it's just a wonderful resource book. I love, love, love this book. So I'm enjoying that. And yes, a little late to the party, but I finally got Operation Sock Drawer. So again, love the patterns I can knit almost every single one of these socks. And I am looking forward to doing this. And this is part of my goal, is to have a complete wardrobe of socks, because I love knitting socks. I just do. I like garments, I do, but my fallback, if you said, Linda, you could only knit one thing and one thing only, it would be socks. Because you can do everything with a sock. Lace, cable, bobbles, stockinette, garter. Everything you can think of, you could do in a sock. And they're fast. Faster. I'm not to say they're fast, but they're faster for me. But anyway, so those are my 2 book acquisitions. So other than that, what else can I tell you before I sign off for the day? If I did not mention in the last podcast, I am so into his dark materials. I don't know if anybody else has read those books or have listened to them on Audible, but his dark materials is fantastic. Totally my thing. A little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of fantasy. You got a child heroine, a female child heroine. You've got good versus evil going on. You got witches. You've got animals. It's just fabulous, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And I learned about those books from Max and Vincent from Les Garçons. And if you have not had a chance, if that's kind of your genre of reading, because I love a lot of the detective stories. I've talked about that, and I don't know if you call them detective, murder mystery, intrigue, murder mystery. Yeah, detective, but more murder mystery. The Elizabeth George kind of stuff. James Patterson is very, very light version of Elizabeth George, but that's kind of what I like to read. But I also like reading everything from Harry Potter to his dark materials to Douglas Adams, Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy, Tea Time of the Soul, all of those books I love. Hence, Star Trek. All of that kind of stuff I love. So that's what I'm reading. Thoroughly enjoying it. Would highly recommend it as well. And I'm listening to it on Audible at the moment, just because that way I can multitask. But that comes to the end of today. I am hoping that you enjoyed the little time we spent together and the chit chat. Hopefully you learned a little bit about the projects, and you enjoyed listening to that. I hope you're all doing well. I'm wishing you good health, calmness, a lot of optimism and positivity. The world hopefully is going to get back to normal, within the next year at least. And I think everybody is waiting for that and looking forward to that. So on that note, folks, have a wonderful, wonderful day. I look forward to talking to you soon. And thanks again for taking this time with me. Take care.